Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? David Knight here with the Nats Baseball Review. Hope everyone's doing well, safe, and happy. Christmas is around the corner, of course. The year's almost over. It's hard to believe how fast the year's flown by. It's just crazy. The older you get, it just flies by quicker. But again, our second video within a week. So it looks like national stuff is picking up. It's picking up. The winter meetings are over. We're getting to the first of the year. We've already seen some notable signs across the league in general. The Nationals are starting to get going. They're getting a little slow good start, but they're starting to get going. And with me for this edition for episode 6, welcome back, my friend Jason. We missed you last time. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Nice to have back on the show as always. Now, I did want to give you an opportunity since you were unable to be on the show last week to discuss to give me your thoughts on anything notable about last video's news that you would like to talk about.
Well, I'm cool with the trade. The trade for the young catcher, it feels
Yeah,
a position of need, and you're not really giving. I understand he was the closer by the end of the season,
right.
but it wasn't like you gave up prime Sean Doolittle or anything for. You're just giving
Exactly.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jose A. Ferrer. For those who didn't watch last video, who don't remember, Jose A. Ferrer was traded to Seattle for Harry Ford, first round pick catcher, and another pitcher, and Isaac Lyon. So that does fill a need for us at catcher, and the way things are looking, he'll probably get a chance to be the guy with us because he was blocked by a certain guy who had 60 home runs last year. So yeah, so he probably
Oh,
wasn't going to get a chance to play anyway. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I mean, like I said, for a quick recap of last time, a lot of stuff we picked up was like we got a lot of swing and miss uh, guys with swing and miss type stuff. Control is kind of iffy, but they can strike out a lot of guys. So I can see Taboni is going more towards that kind of projects right now for certain players. Our Rule 5 guy was like that. The guy we got in the trades were like that. So be interested to see how that will turn out, how we develop the guys.
And never underestimate the power of the throw-in prospect. You know,
Yeah.
Tanner Rourke was just, some guy that the Rangers threw in the Christian Guzman deal,
Hmm.
and he turned out pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, he was a very solid back end starter for us. Ate up a lot of innings, very reliable guy, and right now we need that. We need that right now. If we can't afford to get an A, which looks like we're not going to be able to, considering what contracts I've seen so far. I mean, when we got a closer, Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers for $23 million per year as a closer, it makes you worried as a Nats fan. I don't think
Yes.
we're just not going to be able to spend. I think so. I
The
fortunately think
Dodgers are paying more in luxury tax than some teams are spending on payroll. Period.
yeah, that's right. For those who didn't know, the Dodgers paid 160 plus $1 million in luxury tax, which is the most ever by a team any given season. And it's not Otani's fault. He's only getting $2 million this year. So all his money is deferred to after his contract's over. So that's just they're just spending the money because they have it and they don't care. So you
Yeah,
know what?
I feel we're going to a salary cap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been talks about that for a long time. Um, if they were to do that, that'd be interesting because a lot of teams have to freaking unload really quick. So that'd be interesting to see how that work out. But let's get to this video's news and newest news. Of course, this stuff came out obviously after the last video. So we'll get to a front office move. The Nats have hired, if I say this correctly, Anederud Kilambi as our new general manager. This comes a couple weeks after President of Baseball Operations Paul Taboni said they would go without GM, but it looks like they have changed their mind and they've now brought him in to the fold. He's 31 years old, so he's very young. He served with the Rays in 2015 as an assistant director of baseball research and development. He was hired by Phillies in November 2021 as an assistant GM. So obviously, as you see by the moves with the president of baseball operations, the GM, the manager, all in their early to mid 30s, younger guys. So I can definitely see the direction they're trying to go in right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, this GM obviously seems like very analytical type GM. So more of a numbers analytical guy. What are your thoughts about that direction for the team going forward? What are your thoughts about us going more in that direction?
Well, it's confusing because, like you said, originally they said we're not going to have a GM. Now we're going to have a GM. So it's like mixed signals coming from the front office. But maybe they just saw something in this guy that said, he fits what we want.
Right.
Analytics. I mean, everybody's going in that. Well, the majority of people are going in that direction.
Yeah.
We can't be like the Dodgers and just say we'll throw money at the problem.
Right. Exactly. Which obviously we cannot or will not do that, whatever it might be. And I mean, again, definitely there's been a lot of new signings, a big overhaul, which shows me as a Nats fan they're really trying to do something different here. Because we've been doing with the older guys, the more traditional guys, it has not worked the last several years. And when we say rebuilding, 6 years now, going on 7 years, is a long time to rebuild. That's a long
Rebuild,
time.
yes.
Yeah. So usually
And
the
we've missed on a lot of signings. A lot of the draft picks kind of slow to develop.
right, right, and maybe these guys that helps in with development of young players. Because I think if you're a rebuilding team, you got like 5 years to rebuild. 5 years is about what your rate for rebuilding is, and
Yes.
we're past that, and we're not really close to continue right now. So it's we're not in a good spot. But I mean, maybe bringing these guys in with a new look, a new approach,
Mm,
training with the younger players will be a good thing for us. Um,
yeah.
so all that being said, listen, this deal particularly annoys me because as soon as I did the last video and I put it online, this story came out literally within 10 minutes. Like, really, now it comes out. But long story short, Nats have actually made a major league signing, our first major league contract of the offseason. Prior to this has been trades, a Rule 5 draft pick, things like that. But now we actually have a big league signing, and that's left-handed pitcher Foster Griffin. He'll join us on a 1 year, $5.5 million deal with an additional possible $1 million as an incentives. He was a first-round draft pick back in 2014 by the Royals out of First Academy High School. But spent most of the time in the minor leagues with mixed results. Didn't get a chance to do much in the majors. Ended up going overseas. He's been playing with Japan in Japan rather the last several years. He's done very well there with a 2.57 ERA and 315 innings plus pitched, striking out 1 out of 4 batters. So obviously his stuff transitioned much better to Japan. And there are several players this offseason who have gone overseas who are being picked up by their teams. And this is nothing new, obviously, Jason. Guys who for
No.
some reason can't get it going here or can't get a chance here, they go to Korea, they go to Japan, and they have a good run. They bounce back and do well. So Nats are obviously banking on that kind of thing happening with Griffin.
Yeah. Well, when I first saw the headline that the Nats signed a player out of Japan, I really got my hopes up.
Oh yeah, so it was like a player they were posting or something like that.
Yes, but then I had to think about it. No, they
Right,
wouldn't spend
right.
that money.
Now,
But
well,
yeah, sometimes a change of scenery, gets you started. But then again, Japan's kind of like 4A.
yeah, right,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
so. I mean, it could just be to get your confidence back up, but
Yeah, yeah, and I
and
know
sometimes
with
that's all you need. I mean,
exactly.
I kind of feel he reminds me of John Lannon.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
mean, maybe without as much of the breaking stuff, but I mean, serviceable. I mean,
well,
we
and
we
again,
need a guy that's gonna come in and eat innings.
yeah, and that's the thing. I think there may be a little adjustment there too because he was pitching mainly as a reliever in Japan, and he's wanting to get back in the rotation, go back to being a starter again. And he may have a chance to do it with this team, depending on what happens with all the other guys. Because we got a lot of names who could start, but none of them are really, guarantees. Like if Gore
Yes.
doesn't get traded, he's going to be there, obviously. But a lot of these guys are like back end guys, long relief guys. They're not, big
Mm.
names that you think you would shoot for a rotation. This signing also reminds me a lot of the Trevor Williams signing with the Mets a couple of years ago. We signed Trevor Williams. He was a bullpen guy. He ended up going to the rotation. He had some good games there,
Yes.
But again, he wasn't a dominant force. And like you said about him, for those who don't know who John Lennon was, he was a soft toss and lefty. He was our opening day start for like 3 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw like in the mid to high 80s. He may have touched 90 once or twice. So this guy only throws in the low 90s, not a hard tosser, especially nowadays with the average is like 94, 95 for a fastball. So I guess we'll see how his other stuff translates. And he'll have to definitely, like you've been saying before, prior to getting on to recording, that he has to be able to locate. He's got to be able to get the benefit of the umpire for some of this
Yes.
stuff. So and we'll see if he can do that.
Yes.
And he could be a potential replacement for Mackenzie Gore as well if Gore does get traded, which I've heard nothing about that in the last week. So maybe that slowed down. I would like to keep him around, but again, don't know what to do in regards to that. So we shall
Well, I
see.
wouldn't trade Gore unless they were going to blow me away with an offer.
Right, and the funny part about that is, I mean, if there's enough of a demand for him, which teams always need pitching, they might give us something really good. But for me, I understand that if you look at his numbers last year, yeah, he was hurt for a little while last year, which hurt his numbers a lot. But if you look at his numbers, he's probably considered a back end rotation guy for a lot of teams. So I mean, if he can show he's healthy and be productive, I think we'll get that kind of return for him. So I'm not sure we'll get in return. I just hope it's some good youth in exchange. So
Yes.
all right. And the last signing I want to discuss, and this one I find interesting because Jason, you always hear about those really weird or interesting baseball names, right? And I,
Yes.
and I think this guy definitely fits the bill. Now I don't think he's going to be a life changing signing for the team. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But infielder warming Bernabel, as in warming your cup of coffee, Bernabel. Infielder played first base, third base with the Rocky organization the last several seasons. He's 24 years old, has done a minor league deal to join the Nationals. And overall, he got a little taste of time with the Rockies last year. Had 288, 410 slash line, with a 70 WRC plus. So he's a below average hitter, doesn't walk very much. He can play first or third base, but which we do need help at both those spots right now. So I don't know if he's the answer, like I said, but on a minor league deal, there's really nothing that can hurt us here, and he's under team control. So, what are your thoughts about that,
Yes.
Jason?
Well, I looked into the guy and I may have misread it, but I think he won like Player of the Week when he first came up.
Okay.
He hit a couple home runs, and he started off really, really strong for the Rockies, and then kind of faded as the season went by. But you know, we don't really have any first base prospects,
That's true. We do not. You're right. First
and
base. Go ahead.
and without any first base prospects, you need somebody who could come in and maybe with some upside, who has some MLB experience, and hopefully can hit his body weight, you know, hit a couple home runs, and just generally anything could be better than what we had last year at first base.
Yeah, yeah. This team obviously has a lot of holes to fill, but when you think of your premium offensive positions, first base is those positions where you get a guy that he's expected to rake, right? He's expected to come
Yes.
in, hit for power. Gallo didn't do that. He was hurt. He couldn't barely hit the ball. We traded for Lowe this past season, and he didn't quite do what he's supposed to either. The power wasn't quite there as well with him. So catcher and first base, out of all the positions, I think are our two biggest needs right now.
Yes.
Besides, of course, obviously pitching. Pitching is always a need. Doesn't matter who you are. You always want
Mhm.
more pitching.
And
And
we
we did get
may have our catcher.
we might, yes, Harry Ford, young guy, again, first round pick a few years ago. I'm hoping he works out because Ruiz has not quite been what we thought he was going to be. But getting Ford in the fold, a top draft pick prospect, I think it's good for us. And I think unless we make, I don't know if we'll do anything more than that because I don't think the catcher free agent market is that strong right now. So even if we did try to go out and sign a catcher, there's really not a lot of huge names out there anyway. So I mean, I don't know if we can get that guy via free agency, even if we wanted to. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so we got a couple. We got Ford catcher. I think this, like I said, this guy that we signed from the Rockies is Bernabel. He will get invited to spring training. It's only my only deal. So if it doesn't pan out, then it's not a big loss for us. You know what I'm saying? So we can't really lose with this
No.
deal. So, and as a Nats, if we're gonna be doing moves like that, we gotta be smart about it. We
Yes.
gotta find those guys in the rough that we can say, oh, there's some valuable here. We gotta make it work. So,
Yeah. Kind of starting to look like the Cleveland Indians of Major League.
yeah, you got it from the Giants, Baker, not those Giants. Oh god, man. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Still a lot of offseason to go. You know, the year's wrapping up. Not sure if we'll have any major notable stuff by the first of the year or not. But if we do, we'll be back on here to talk about it on the Nats Baseball Review. As always, thanks for joining me, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
Anything else you want to add, or anything that's on your brain you want to vent about?
Well, I'm starting to see a little pattern with this new president of operations, Taboni.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he seems to be a little bit different in the way that Rizzo built the farm system. Rizzo seemed to be more of he was the top heavy guy.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
going to have one, two, maybe three serious prospects, and then the rest of the organization is kind of just filler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
Right.
appears to be more of trying to wanting to build a deeper system.
Yeah, deeper system, even it out, give us some good depth. I think it was what 2011, 2012. We had a lot of our veterans were hurt. We kept calling all these guys up, and they just hit for us. That
Yeah,
season, like everyone was called up, contributed, and
yeah,
it worked out. So maybe we can get another farm system like that, in which the names don't stick out, but you can play them, and they're going to do something for you, right? So.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, a lot of time left in before the season starts. We're less than 100 days away from opening day, so we're getting there. But we'll see how things go. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, Nationals fan, want to hear what's going on, subscribe, notification bell, be part of. Be part of the channel. As always, if we don't see you before, have a safe Christmas, Happy New Year. Talk to you later.